And now we get to part 8. I know. Did you know it would last so long? And there's still more to come. Yay! I know. Y'all happy. Anyway, this is part 8 of our look at the impacts of World War II in Europe. And this one will cover our friend Italy. And of course, there are no learning outcomes by the time we get to this point because y'all at part 8. I hope you got it by now. Italy. Basically, you have the World War II ended with civil war between the Kingdom of Italy and the German-packed a puppet state, the Italian Social Republic. So one of the things that happened is the people rebelled against Mussolini because essentially he got them into a situation that they did not want to be in, and it made things worse for them. And they topple Mussolini, they jail him, and then Germany comes and creates a dashing rescue of Mussolini. One of the things, of course, is Mussolini is very old at this point, and so Hitler needs the support of Italy, and so by creating the Italian Social Republic, he essentially has a and putting Mussolini at the front, he has a sort of legitimate government that can be used to direct Italian resources. Did it work? No. And participants in the Social Republic were tried and executed, and this resulted in about 30,000 people. So after the invasion of Italy and the restructuring of Italy and the signing of the treaty in 47, basically they go to purge and to cleanse the state of anything that was connected with Mussolini. So all of the people who supported Mussolini in this Italian Social Republic had some puppet, trials, and then they were executed. And so the Treaty of Peace with Italy, September 15th, 1947, essentially Italy has to pay 360 billion in reparations. And Italy, everything that Italy gained at the end of World War I, she loses. Everything that Italy gained in sort of expanding her influence in Southern Europe during the interwar period, she loses. And then, of course, she also loses Abyssinia, Ethiopia, because that invasion was in violation of league law, international law. But she's also punished with the loss of Libya, and this has been the colony that Italy had in Europe. In Africa since the 1800s, and so essentially. I guess you can look at the loss of Libya as taking away any possible excuse Italy might have to attempt to expand further in Africa. One of the things to remember is that China was one of the Allied powers, and we'll discuss this a bit further when we look at World War II in Asia. And as an Allied power, she's going to benefit some from the treaties. And so one of the benefits to China was the cutting out of Italy from the Chinese trade, basically. And one of the things that happens additionally for Italy is the abolition of the monarchy. So people were really, really upset by so much that they voted against the monarchy, by King Victor Emmanuel's lack of gumption, essentially, his lack of action in dealing with Mussolini. First of all, he appointed Mussolini, and he always had the power to dismiss Mussolini, and he did not. And this lack of action meant that Italy was pulled into the war and all of the negative stuff that happens. Now, King Victor Emmanuel was part, sort of the coup that overthrew Mussolini and wouldn't back Mussolini when people were getting rid of him. but in the eyes of the people, it was a day late and a dollar short. And he abdicates the throne in favor of his son in order to because his son was well liked by the people. But again, a day late and a dollar short. By the time he does this, people are overwhelmingly sick and tired of monarchy, and they vote against it. There are no war crimes trials for Italy. Part of that is because of the death of Mussolini. When people got a hold of Mussolini, they executed him already. And then the other thing is, in many ways, Italy was fighting a war. Italy wasn't nowhere near as extreme politically as the Nazis were. And so you don't have the massive targeting of civilians and things like this. So there are no war crimes. And then, of course, in 43, you have the coup against Mussolini. So they kind of took care of it themselves. As you know, the economy and agriculture both were devastated by World War II. And Italy is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries from the Marshall Plan. What the Marshall Plan allows for is a massive amount of modernization for Italy. Despite, obviously, while being in Europe, Italy, even from the late 1800s moving forward, Italy was behind the rest of Europe, namely Germany, France, Britain, in terms of industrialization. And then the economic policies of Mussolini stagnated the economy further. So with the Marshall Plan and the help that comes with technical expertise as well as the money, you have a leapfrogging of Italian industry instead of sort of like a gradual improvement on her own. And so the result is going to be this massive economic boom of the 50s. And you see like Italian modernism in furniture, in clothing. And of course, you see it in things like, cars and Vespas, because you know what? Vespas are awesome. And here we have an image of the Ponte Vecchio, which is basically one of the quintessential images of Italy, that really famous old-timey bridge that's in Florence. And basically, as Germany withdrew from Italy, because through their association with Mussolini, they had occupied large portions of Italy, and the Allied powers are having to push Germany out. And as they were retreating, they were basically destroying anything that they could to kind of halt the invaders as they came in, or the Allied army as they came in. And so this Ponte Vecchio, I think it's like a 14th century bridge, was the only bridge left standing in the entire city of Florence at this time. And this is just to kind of illustrate to you, one, the destruction of infrastructure, and infrastructure as a source of communication and the ability to move goods and so on and so forth. And all of this stuff is going to have to be rebuilt before a functioning economy can be developed. The development of the EU is going to be one of the direct long-term consequences of World War II. And so what you have is from the beginning in the early 50s is the development of the European Coal and Steel Community. And this was created between Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, West Germany, France, and Italy. And the whole point here was to reduce trade barriers between these countries to allow for greater movement of coal and steel. And both of these things are foundations for industry. And so it was then going to have a cumulative impact on the growth of industry post-World War II. And so this was going to combine their resources, help the economies of the members. This is a reduction of trade barriers. And once you reduce trade barriers, one of the things that has to happen, of course, is you have greater political cooperation, because things like tariffs and and easing of trade begins in politics. And this, of course, is going to reduce tensions between the states, increase trust. And from the European coal and steel community, you have the European Economic Community, which is further reduction of trade barriers, more political ties to each other. And then we get to the European Union, in which states do have sovereignty, but they are very, very closely tied together politically, economically, and socially. And all of the myriad things that had to happen, and this massive change in thinking and looking at each other. Yes, still there's that element of nationalism, but now there's also this pan-Europeanness that helps to reduce the likelihood of another war, another devastating conflict. Because something like this, as connected as they are together, imagine them as being a multi-member Siamese twin thing. As connected as they are to each other, destruction of one or the whiz is going to rebound through the rest. And this is one of the things that you see that has happened in the last economic downturn and with Greece and so on and so forth. But all of this is going to be a result of World War II.